All right. Well, so as always, you guys are more than welcome to um, drop some picks. We'll take a look at them. The point here of these Sizzle Talk sessions is, to vet your ideas, to kind of talk through what you're thinking. My go-to is the volume profile that you see here on the right of the screen, and this indicator that we built, custom indicator called an opportunity zone, and it helps dimensionalize the volume profile. So the volume profile on the right-hand side tells me how the volume is distributed over whatever time frame I'm looking for, that stock or ETF or whatever, or futures. We look at futures a lot too because of the volume and the information that they have. All right, so we're going to start out in the absence of any other suggestions or requests from you guys. We're going to start off with stocks that are have exceptional option volume today. Those are Sizzle stocks on Thinkorswim. So here's where we're going to start and see if we see anything that could be interesting. All right, American Airlines. Let me double check. Let me make sure I got. Assume you guys can hear me, but dang it. Yep, I'm unmuted. Okay, great. Okay, all right. Here we go. American Airlines. Start out looking at their 30 days. So the kind of the basic things that we're looking at, this is the volume as it's distributed over the last 30 days. Its 30-day price range down to $13.79 all the way up to $17.67. Very little volume at the extremes, but there's a fair amount of volume right in here, with the most volume falling right here at this point of control. This is this red line right here. Okay. And then you've got this value area that is a function of where the volume has been and where it could be. Anyway, here we go. So the volume is building. This looks like a kind of a bullish pattern right off the bat. You've got this volume building up to a price right here, although it's testing the low. So I'd want to, before we saw anything, before we made a move based on this, we want to see how the volume builds right here, kind of see how it looks in the shorter term. But let's take a look. So anyway, this is the general philosophy that I apply to volume profile. Is I'm looking for the direction that the volume is building and then sharp drop-offs, which we really don't have, right? There's got to be a big move before this thing can meaningfully move upwards beyond $17, I think. But let's see what all right. The 10-day, kind of showing it. This volume here is just too scattered across a wide range. No real bias here on the last 10 days. I'm going to move on here pretty quickly. I'm not seeing anything in American Airlines. Okay, we're going to move on. Apellis Pharmaceuticals. Okay, let's see. This is the 5-day. This is just an ugly volume profile. No real direction or bias. Just a kind of lumpy volume. I think, the 10-day. This is just a screening process. This is how I look for opportunities, and I try to quickly move past. Now, here, this looks a little interesting. This 30-day, we've moved. This might be one worth keeping an eye on. We've moved past this opportunity zone, and I would watch for volume building. If volume fails and gets below this 59.10 area, there could be a decent move down to 52. That's enough there to make some money. So this right here outside of this zone, I want to see how this trades. Right now it's indeterminate. There's no real bias, but if it got below 58.95, and if you were really patient, down to 57.34, I think you'd be looking for a move back to 52.62. That's what we're looking at here. Okay, all right, interesting. Actinum Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, you get a lot of biotechs in here, and biotechs are something I tend to steer away from. Well, here you have that same kind of, so this is, when you see this volume shoot, very thin volume and a big price range, right? It's initiating activity in that direction. And, you don't want to, if you're not already in that stock, and if you were long this position back here, right? You'd kind of want to you'd hang on, but you'd be really trigger happy looking to take some profits, because you don't know it's impossible to tell how long that initiating activity is going to last from the volume profile. But when it makes a sharp turn, right now we're into something. It's moved through this opportunity zone. There's not quite enough here, but this is, so this is similar to like we were just looking at APLS on the last one. All right. And once it broke through here, this would be it's a meaningful move back to this value area. Could be looking at 1023, possibly lower. Let's kick around and see if there's more. I'm going to zoom out and see if there's something in that lower price range. Well, let me go back. I missed it. All right. So let's see that we've got the 736. What I'm curious, is this 736 realistic for it? Okay. Or is that reaching too far? Let's zoom out. It got down to 7 or so within the last 90 days. I mean, it's in the market could care less whether it's a 13 or 10. There's no, it can move very easily through this area. And then, the interesting thing, once it got here, would be whether or not it continues to 7. So I think, this would be this. There's room for a decent short here if the volatility is not too high on this stock. To trade an option, but there's a room for a short here to make a move down around below this $10 to around $9, and I'd watch how the volume builds. Let's take a look at the short term and see what it wants to keep going. This kind of volume through here, and this is just over the last 10 days. It wants to keep going, and that's what that's telling me. Yep, and the 5 day saying the same thing. So I don't know, maybe a good short there. All right, let's look at Alibaba. We'll skip the ADRs, especially Chinese stocks. Constellation Energy Corp. It's a utility. Yeah. All right. Constellation Energy Corp. This is initiating activity on the 5 day. You want to see a little bit of volume building right here. Is it consolidating? Is it going to reverse, or is it going to continue? That's the question, right? Of course. But that's what we want to be looking for. So it's kind of settling in with some decent volume here. So it's made a meaningful move. 30 day, even on the 30 day, this still looks, it might be consolidating. I would say there's nothing to do here. Okay, give me a second. All right, we got some people in the room. Hey, remember, I see a lot of other people have come in the room here. Drop some names in the chat, in the Prosperity Pub chat, if you want me to take a look at it. CF Industries. Okay, so it failed hard on no volume, and it's back in this value area. All right, let's see. Let's zoom in and see what we see. Still looks this pattern right here. Now it's interesting when you see these kind of lumps. There's some algorithmic trading going on here, right? Some institutional interest. Either it could be liquidating a position given the way the volume is building as it's going down, and see these little lumps of volume that stick out. That's someone doing like a VWAP algo. Volume weighted average price algorithm, to stay in line with the market. But it's they're a little more aggressive as the price goes down. So they're just kind of, that's like saying, okay, let's move this thing along here. And it, or it could be somebody taking a short position too, but volume is building generally as the price goes down. And hence you get this drop. You want to watch it right around here. There's nothing to do right in here. This is, does it want to return or will it reverse? I wouldn't, this might be one, looks like there's something interesting going on here, but I'd keep an eye on that to see how that develops. All right, let's look at Charge Point Holdings. These guys are always in here. Okay. Building volume, but you've got scattered volume across a relatively wide price range, right? It's $10, $13 stock. So let me get a drink of water here. So not a whole lot of consensus about what a good price is, what a good fair, not a consensus around what the price is. Giving existing information. Yeah. Okay. Let's zoom in. Oh, or zoom out. Sorry. 10-day. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I skipped down. Let's look at 30-day. Oh, that we'll go back to this 90-day, but this 30-day. All right. So here's something I would be keeping an eye. I want to see how it trades through here, but this could be something. Let's see what the 90-day. And on the 90-day, there's a lot of resignation in this stock. We tried one high price, lower price. You've got this building volume, clearly building as we go down. We're right down to this point of control. I think if you were bearish this for some other reason, or if you've got some other indicator that tells you there might be a good short, this to me tells me like there's a pretty reasonable chance that it might get motivated. You're looking at $8 or less over a fairly long time frame. Remember, this is 90-day, and there's some symmetry around the time frame. So maybe we're looking back around $8 or so. Okay, Kupang, skip that. Coterra Energy, E&P, Exploration and Production Company. All right. So maybe you found a little bid down here around 23.14. Maybe this 25 is, not necessarily enough room to do a lot with. Let's zoom in. Oh, let's see. Did I see a couple? Let's see. Somebody just joined that. Okay. All right. You guys are being awfully quiet today. You usually get a lot more questions on wanting to look at stocks, but that's all right. Okay, so Coterra Energy, this 30-day. Oh, all right. You catch a falling knife. See here, you had a little bit of consolidation, but now it's dropped again. Let's see what the near term is telling us. Nothing. There's nothing to take from this volume profile. Let's look at 5-day. Again, nothing. Okay, nothing to do there. All right, moving on. Delta Airlines. Okay. We were looking at American Airlines earlier. So, are they having what was American Airlines looking at? Almost looks the same, doesn't it? Look at that. Almost looks the same. There is maybe a little doubt. I don't know. Maybe everybody's scared that Biden's yammering about being fair. I don't know. Okay. I would, on this, just not enough room. Okay, what's it doing here? It's initiating. Is it going to build? Just not enough room to play anything right here on this one. Let's zoom out. I would call this initiating activity, which looks like, here's it. This volume is just kind of equally spread between this range of 39.67 and 38.22. It's hard to get a read on this one too. This kind of looks like a bottoming out to me. Maybe I'd watch. What I would do is if it gets above 37.86, I'd look at the 5 and the 10-day to see if it's going to just not enough room to. I don't see anything here. There's nothing to do. I'll take that back. Okay, nothing to do here. All right, Dana Incorporated. Ooh, a couple sharp moves. How did they do on earnings? Big miss. Holy moly. Phew. What about the strong consumer? What do these guys sell? Let me just look at the news here. God, so much for all the retail sales for these guys. What market are they in? That's what I'm wondering. All right. So we got, whatever move was going to make, this. So is it going to go further? Let's see if there's any indication that, any precedent. Okay. So it traded back up here on some hopium that we've had since, last November. And yeah, now we're back to this point of control. This is, so just within the last 3 months, right? Keep in mind, it's down here around the $12 range, which that's a move. That move would be something that you could, there's enough gravy on the plate to take some profits out of that, take something to make that trade interesting. All right. So the question is it heading back down to here? Okay. All right. So let's zoom in and see how motivated. We just looked at this. We looked at the 30-day. Let's see the 10-day. Nothing, not enough information yet. Not sure whether or not it's found the bottom. Same thing, kind of looks like a little near-term consolidation. Okay, so this is just one to watch. But, I'd be watching this thing. I'd be watching Dana back. Let me go out to 90-day. I'd be watching Dana to see if it's, if there's some hints that it might set up for a bearish move. All right. Deutsche Bank. All right, let's see. 90 days not really telling me anything. Yeah. Okay, moving on. I don't see anything here. DraftKings. Okay, a little bit of there's consolidation up here above in this past the extreme of the opportunity zone. So there was new information. Let's see. We got earnings. Did it 217? It's not giving me, it's annoying. What is it? Oh, okay, here we go. It was less of a loss than estimated, so they beat, but it's still a loss. But let's move down. So here's what I'm thinking. All right, is if there is this a new level that the market is building consensus around as a kind of a fair price? I hate the word term fair value, but or fair price, but it's a market lingo. Keeping an eye on this 1440. Does it have will it make that move? I don't see a bullish pattern here. All right, so so on the 10-day, you've got this gap right here. And then a lot more volume here. And this is kind of, this little setup here is kind of building. And then you've got this sharper-ish drop off, but not enough to tell yet. It may not. It's like the market might be second guessing this move, and something lower down here could be realistic. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing. Look at this. Okay, this is the 1 day. On the 1 day, build. It may have tested this low end of the range, but this is just on the 1 day. So this is one to watch. I feel like there's a little bit of a bearish move potential, but okay, let me get off the DocuSign. I don't like the way that looks. All right, we got about 10 more minutes. Initiating move, Elanco Animal Health, ELAN. Initiating move, catch a falling knife. You just want this thing to settle down. So would not step in that now. If you were short this sucker, congratulations. If you're long it, cut your losses because you don't know how far. It's hard to tell how far this one's going to fall. But let's see if there's anything. No, that's all going to be. I was just zooming in on the time frame. Now, it's initiating activity, so time to cut bait or reel it in. General Mills. So a lot of volume down here. Let's zoom in to see if it's. Well, let's zoom out. Let's look at the. Okay, it's just all over the place. Whew, this stock has really been pulled around by the nose. Betting on the consumer as bets have changed on the consumer. Okay. Yeah. No, not enough to do there. Home Depot. All right, Todd. Let's take. I'll go back to Home Depot if we need to. Let's take a look at Google. All right, 10-day. Could be at a little bottom here. Let's see. I'm just gonna poke around. Ooh. Looking at the 90-day. This kind of all looks like it's one disappointment after the other, right? And the market's just kind of coming to grips. There is what do we got? Looks like some meaningful support down here at 90.60. My inclination is that this looks like it wants to keep going down, but it just doesn't. It's not really selling it. And this is a longer-term chart, 90-day chart, but it could be migrating its way down to 85 or so. Let's look at really long-term and see what, because you got to keep in mind, right? When you're putting in, when I put these into, here's the 1 year. Here's what the context I have is, so here's a 2 year, right? The way this stock was priced, say a year ago and before, more than a year ago, was 0% interest rates, 0% Fed funds rate, and all their earnings were discounted at very, very low interest rates. And now, Google isn't really, they're getting challenged. And they are, more of these high-flying tech stocks are kind of more moving into mature market segment, right? They're getting to be a little bit more cash cows than anything else. So their earnings, growth isn't as big a factor as the value of their future earnings. So that's dragging down on these prices. But, it looks like a pretty decent bottom on a 2 year, for Google. Let's look at 3 year. 3 year. Yeah, there's no clear direction here. I would say there's a bearish bias, but maybe not enough to move on. Okay, all right. Thank you for that. Who put that in there? Okay, it was Todd. Thank you, Todd. All right, we got time for a couple more. Let's go. Oh, we looked at Disney already. So you might want to, that was, oh, did we look at Disney? I'm sorry. Let me see. Maybe we didn't. No, we didn't. Okay. And Disney was, let's take a look at Disney. All right. So this was a daily pick. I just had subscribers close this one out today. We went shorted to like 112.71. So that's, a nice $10 move plus almost 10% in about a week. A little over a week. I had my eye on this $100 level. It's made a sharp move today. So let's see how this volume's building down here. Okay. What that looks like. If there's any. So it's kind of building right here. It's trading right here. It kind of dropped and it's trading some decent volume. I'm kind of glad I had them close it. This looks like it's, it might continue on, but for right now, it's done. Let's look at 90-day. All right, here, this is why I had this target right here. This is the 90-day target's right around 100. So this point of control, a lot of volume right here. It could be heading there, but I don't see anything. Well, let's zoom out. And actually, as you're asking about that, I'm wondering is your take on Disney? Have you got a longer term view? What's your view? Are you looking to go long? Are you long? Are you short? Are you looking to go short? What? So this 1 year, looks like the whole thing wants to head lower. How did they do again on earnings? I forget. It killed on earnings. their streaming service is doing well, although my kids are like, their Marvel franchise has gone to crap. Like my son, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, they're not. It's like ever since Disney took over Marvel, but looking to short. Yeah, I would watch this develop, Todd. If you're talking about Google, I meant Disney. Yeah, you are. Okay, great. I would let this develop right here. You don't want to get stuck. What I would be cautious about. Let's see here. Here's what I would say. Oh man, it's a tough one down here, right? Because you've got a decent amount of this. There's not enough room here to make something big, and I don't see anything pushing it big time. Down to around 90. To make this, you'd need a move to around 95 or 90 to make this worth your while, right? Unless it happened overnight, of course, and you did some very short-term options. I just don't see a short-term catalyst, right? It's just kind of happy in this zone. So I'd keep an eye on this one. Yeah, I right now, if you're already short, I would take profits. Okay. Hey, let's look at the overall market. Let's look at some broad market stuff right here before I let you guys go. We just got about 2 or 3 more minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. Let's look at the S&P. Well, I looked at gold first. Let's look at the S&P. This could go just a ton of volume spread in between this range. But you got this point of control higher. This and this was definitely a bearish buildup. Right, so now it's made the move. Question is, does it got more to go? So this is these are S&P futures, right? So take this as a commentary on, overall, the general market direction, large caps, whatever. Ooh, some initiating activity. Oh yeah, we're down 65 today. Ooh, doggy. All right, and it's keeping going. I'd say if you're short, start looking to pair it in, but I don't know what your ultimate target is. We're initiating activity down here. Let's go out. This looks on the 90-day basis. This looks pretty good. Not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of conclusions we can make about its future direction based on the volume profile here, other than to say it's got an easy. This is not going to be a tough move to go from down to 39.52. So roughly another 70 points or so. This whole thing looks like it wants to go down, but I think you got to watch. Let's look at the NASDAQ, see what it's telling us, if it tells us anything different. That's natural gas futures. Sorry. I was like, wow, that looks really, really different. Here we go. Now we're into something. This tells me something a little more interesting. This 90-day, right? Ooh, this looks like it's broke through back into this value area and I think it wants to get down here. So that's a decent move, or lower, right? Little giving up on tech stocks, which we kind of saw in Google, right? So all of this broader market context helps give some color around, some of the individual names that we looked at. So it failed. Boom. The question is, how much further can it go? There's not a whole lot of support that I see all the way down to, frankly, 11,297. Okay. Let's look at the 10-day. This is an issue. So, nothing to say this is going to keep going overnight or whatever. Let's look at the 1-day. Yeah, it may have made its move for the day. That would be the way I say that. Okay, that would be the conclusion I draw. All right, guys, that's been a half hour. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your coming in, listening to this. This has been. I really appreciate y'all. You're great, and we'll back on the track. We're back on track, doing these every week, Tuesdays at 11. I'll see you next week. And I'll post a recording in the channel for any of you that missed a bunch. Manny, you bet. You are welcome. We will see you guys. All right. Have a good day. Bye.